You wake up at 5 a.m., you hit the gym, you answer emails before breakfast, you optimize your morning routine, you hustle, you grind, you execute your vision board action steps, you network, you manifest, you affirm, you visualize, you do. And yet, nothing changes. The job doesn't come. The relationship stays stuck. The money remains elusive. The breakthrough you've been working toward feels further away than ever. So what do? You do more. You try harder. You add another course, another practice, another strategy. You wake up at 4:30 a.m. instead of 5. You double down on the hustle. Because surely, if you just work hard enough, try hard enough, want it enough, it will come. But here's the truth that no productivity guru wants you to know. The secret that would destroy an entire industry built on selling you the next tactic, the next hack, the next 10 times your results program. The thing you want is running away from you because you're chasing it. Every frantic action you take is a broadcast signal screaming into the quantum field. I don't have this. I am incomplete. I am in a state of lack. And the universe, which is not a cosmic vending machine but a mirror, reflects that frequency right back to you. More lack, more incompleteness, more chasing. This is the silence paradox. The fastest way to manifest what you want is to stop trying to manifest it. The most powerful action is non-action. The greatest force is stillness. And I'm not talking about passive resignation or spiritual bypassing. I'm talking about a radical, deliberate, quantum-level intervention that most people will never understand because it looks from the outside like doing nothing. But it's not nothing. It's everything. Welcome to the most counterintuitive truth you'll ever encounter. In the architecture of reality, silence is the most potent creative force available to you. And until you learn to wield it, you'll stay trapped in the exhausting, ineffective hamster wheel of forced productivity, running faster and faster while getting nowhere. Let me show you why. We live in a culture that worships effort. We celebrate the grind. We romanticize burnout. We wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. I only slept 4 hours last night. I haven't taken a day off in 6 months. I'm working 3 side hustles. And underneath all of it is an unspoken belief. If I'm not working hard, I'm not worthy. If I'm not busy, I'm not valuable. If I'm not doing, I'm failing. This belief system has reached a fever pitch in 2026. We're more connected, more stimulated, more productivity obsessed than ever. We track our steps, our sleep, our calories, our screen time, our deep work hours. We optimize every variable. We biohack our biology. We squeeze every possible drop of output from our waking hours. And we're more burned out, anxious, depressed, and stuck than any generation in history. Why? Because the entire paradigm is built on a lie. The lie is this: more effort equals more results. In certain domains, this is true. If you want to build muscle, you need to stress the muscle. If you want to learn a skill, you need to practice. Physical reality responds to physical input, but when it comes to manifestation, to calling in a new reality, to collapsing the quantum wave function around a desired outcome, effort is not just ineffective, it's counterproductive. Here's why. Every action you take carries an energetic signature. That signature is broadcasted into the field as a frequency, and the field doesn't respond to your words or your intentions, it responds to your frequency. When you take action from a state of inspiration, alignment, and overflow, when it feels effortless, joyful, like you're being moved rather than moving, that action carries a frequency of abundance. It says, I already have this. I'm just playing in the field of creation. But when you take action from a state of desperation, fear, or scarcity, when you're forcing, pushing, trying to make something happen, that action carries a frequency of lack. It says, I don't have this yet. I need to force it into existence. I'm incomplete without it. And the universe, which is infinitely responsive but not sentimental, mirrors that frequency back to you. You get more experiences of lack, more situations where you have to force and push, more evidence that you're incomplete. This is the physics of manifestation that no one talks about. The harder you push, the more resistance you create. Think about it. Have you ever tried to fall asleep only to find that the effort keeps you awake? Have you ever tried to remember a name only to have it slip further away the harder you grasp for it? Have you ever tried to impress someone, only to come across as desperate and off-putting? Effort creates tension. Tension creates resistance. Resistance creates stagnation. Now apply this to manifestation. You want a job, so you apply to 50 positions. You refresh your email every 10 minutes. You obsessively check LinkedIn. You worry about it constantly. You do informational interviews. You take courses to add skills to your resume. You're working so hard at it. But underneath every action is the same frequency. I don't have a job. I'm not enough as I am. I need this or I'm failing. That frequency is not attractive. It's repellent. It's the energetic equivalent of showing up to a first date and immediately asking, "Will you marry me? Please, I'm so lonely." The desperation pushes the desired outcome further away. The biological barrier of burnout. There's also a biological component to this that's critical to understand. When you're in a state of chronic stress and burnout, which is where hustle culture inevitably leads, your nervous system is stuck in sympathetic activation, fight or flight, survival mode. In this state, your body is optimized for short-term survival, not long-term creation. Blood flow is diverted from the prefrontal cortex, creative thinking, future planning, to the hindbrain, reactive, defensive thinking. Cortisol floods your system, suppressing immune function and cognitive flexibility. Your perception narrows to focus on threats. You literally cannot see opportunities when your nervous system is in survival mode. You're scanning for danger, not possibility. And here's the kicker. The universe doesn't send opportunities to people in survival mode. Why? Because survival mode is a frequency of scarcity, and scarcity attracts more scarcity. The opportunities, the synchronicities, the lucky breaks go to people who are already vibrating at the frequency of abundance, people who are relaxed, open, receptive, people who have created space, both internally and externally, for something new to arrive. You cannot manifest from burnout. You can only replicate the conditions that created the burnout. This is the trap. The culture tells you to work harder, so you do. But working harder burns you out. Burnout puts you in survival mode. Survival mode broadcasts scarcity. Scarcity attracts more scarcity. So you conclude you need to work even harder, and the cycle continues. The only way out is to stop, to step off the treadmill, to do what every fiber of your conditioned being tells you is dangerous and irresponsible. Nothing. Let's talk about quantum physics, because this is where the science validates what the mystics have known forever. In quantum mechanics, particles exist in a state of superposition, multiple possibilities simultaneously, until they're observed. The act of observation collapses the wave function, selecting one possibility from the many and making it real. This is called the observer effect, and it's one of the most profound mysteries in physics. Consciousness doesn't just witness reality, it participates in creating it. Now here's where it gets interesting for manifestation. What you observe is determined by your state of being, not your effort. Let me explain. Imagine your desired outcome, the job, the relationship, the health, the wealth, exists right now as a wave function. It's a probability in the quantum field. It's there, but it's not collapsed into your experience yet. For you to experience it, the wave function has to collapse. And what collapses it? Your observation. But not observation in the sense of looking at it. Observation in the quantum sense means the state of consciousness you bring to the field. If you bring a state of lack, I don't have this, I need this, where is it? You collapse the wave function into more experiences of not having it. The act of desperate searching is itself an observation that reinforces absence. But if you bring a state of already having it, calm, complete, certain, you collapse the wave function into the experience of having it. You're observing from the end. And the quantum field responds by organizing reality to match that observation. This is why all the great teachers, Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy, even quantum physicists like John Wheeler, say the same thing. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not try to get it, not work toward it. Assume it's already done. And the fastest way to assume it's already done is through stillness. Stillness as observation. When you're in deep stillness, true silence, not just physical quiet, but mental and emotional calm, you stop generating interference patterns. Think of your mind like a pond. When the pond is still, perfectly calm, it becomes a clear mirror. It reflects reality as it is. But when the pond is disturbed, thoughts churning, emotions rippling, constant mental noise, the reflection is distorted, fragmented, unrecognizable. Your mind in its default state is a disturbed pond. Constant thoughts, endless commentary, worries, plans, judgments, narratives. This mental noise creates interference patterns in the quantum field. Every thought is an electromagnetic signal. Every emotion generates a coherent or incoherent field. When you're in mental chaos, obsessing, worrying, planning, forcing, you're generating static. The field can't organize around a clear intent because the intent is buried under layers of noise. But when you drop into stillness, when you quiet the mind completely, the interference patterns dissolve. The pond becomes still. The signal becomes clear. And here's the magic. In the silence, you are no longer observing from lack. You're observing from presence. Presence has no agenda. Presence is not trying to get anything. Presence is complete, whole, at peace. And when you observe the quantum field from that state, you collapse the wave function into wholeness, into completion, into abundance. You're not forcing a new reality. You're allowing it to emerge from the silence. Retreating into the zero-point field. The zero-point field is the ground state of the quantum vacuum, the lowest energy state where, paradoxically, infinite potential exists. It's the womb of creation. Everything emerges from it, and everything returns to it. When you enter deep stillness, you're not escaping reality. You're retreating into the source code of reality. You're going to the place where all possibilities exist before they collapse into form. From this place, you don't need to figure out how your desire will manifest. You don't need a plan. You don't need a strategy. Because the zero-point field contains all pathways, all solutions, all possibilities. Your job is not to engineer the outcome. Your job is to hold the frequency of the outcome and let the field organize the details. And you can only hold that frequency in stillness. Because the moment you start thinking, planning, worrying, doing, you've left the zero-point field and re-entered the realm of ego and effort. This is the quantum mechanics of manifestation. The source of creation is silence. The womb of possibility is stillness. The collapse of the wave function into your desired reality happens when you stop interfering and simply be. Let's talk about why nothing you want has shown up yet, even though you've been doing all the right things. The answer, in most cases, is this. You keep checking. You set the intention. You do the visualization. You affirm. And then you check. Did it work? Is it here yet? Why hasn't it shown up? What am I doing wrong? Every time you check, you collapse the wave function back into the old reality. You reset the manifestation process. You're like a gardener who plants a seed and then digs it up every day to see if it's growing. This is the resistance loop, and it's the single biggest reason people fail at manifestation. Here's how it works. Step 1, you set an intention. Good. Step 2, you take action from a place of inspiration. Also good. Step 3, you wait. And in the waiting, doubt creeps in. Is this really going to work? What if I'm delusional? What if I'm wasting my time? Step 4, the doubt creates anxiety. The anxiety makes you check for results. You scan your external reality for evidence that it's working. Step 5, you don't see evidence yet because manifestation takes time to ripple through layers of reality. The lack of evidence triggers more doubt. Step 6, the doubt generates more anxiety. The anxiety makes you take frantic action to make sure it's working. You add more tactics, more strategies, more effort. Step 7, the frantic action broadcasts a frequency of lack. The lack attracts more lack. The results don't come. Step 8, you conclude, this doesn't work for me, I'm broken, the universe doesn't support me, and you give up. Or worse, you start the cycle again with even more desperation. This is the resistance loop, and the only way to break it is to stop checking. The radical suspension of action. What I'm about to suggest will sound insane to most people, especially in a culture that glorifies hustle. After you set your intention, do nothing, and don't check for results, not for a week, not for a month. Ideally, not until the thing shows up. This is not passivity, this is not apathy. This is a radical, deliberate intervention designed to starve the ego of the data it uses to predict failure. Your ego is a pattern recognition machine. It looks at your past and projects it into your future. It says, based on previous experience, this is what's going to happen. And because you've spent your whole life in a certain pattern, lack, struggle, limitation, your ego's prediction is always more of the same. But your ego needs data to make its predictions, and the data it uses is external evidence. If you constantly scan your external reality for signs of progress, you're feeding the ego data, and the ego will use that data to reinforce the old pattern. See, it's not here yet. I knew this wouldn't work. I'm not good enough. The universe doesn't care about me. But if you stop checking, you deprive the ego of data. The ego has nothing to work with. It can't make its usual predictions. The pattern is disrupted. And in that disruption, space opens. The quantum field has room to reorganize without your interference. This requires tremendous trust. It requires a willingness to let go of control. It requires you to surrender the need to know how and when and where it's going to happen. But this surrender is not weakness, it's the highest form of power. Because when you release the need to control every variable, you allow the intelligence of the quantum field, which is infinitely smarter than your limited ego, to orchestrate the perfect unfolding. Receptive silence, the state of allowing. There's a difference between passive silence and receptive silence. Passive silence is collapse, it's giving up, it's I can't do anything anyway, so why bother? Receptive silence is openness. It's, I've planted the seed, I trust the process, I'm now in a state of allowing the field to move. Receptive silence is active. You're not doing nothing because you're lazy or defeated. You're doing nothing because you're aligned. You're in a state of high-frequency receptivity. Think of it like this. When you want to receive a radio signal, you don't generate noise. You tune in. You quiet the static. You become a clear receiver. The same with manifestation. When you want to receive your desired outcome from the quantum field, you don't generate noise, mental chatter, frantic action, constant checking. You tune in, you quiet the static, you become a clear receiver, and the clearest receiver is silence. Okay, so you understand the theory. Silence is the key. Stillness collapses the wave function. Non-action is the highest action. But how do you actually do it in a world that's designed to keep you distracted, stimulated, and addicted to dopamine hits every 30 seconds? How do you achieve absolute silence when your phone is buzzing, your email is dinging, your social media is begging for your attention, and your mind is racing with 1,000 thoughts per minute? This is where we need a protocol, a technology of silence that's specifically designed to bypass the modern digital cognitive assault. Phase 1. The digital detox. Minimum 24 hours. You cannot achieve internal silence while externally plugged into the noise machine. Step 1 is to completely disconnect from all digital inputs for a minimum of 24 hours, ideally 3 to 7 days. This means no phone, turn it off and put it in a drawer or leave it with a trusted friend. No computer, no TV, no music, at least not lyrical. Instrumental or nature sounds may be okay. No reading, books, articles, anything that inputs information. No conversations, if possible. Deep silence retreats recommend no speaking. The goal is sensory deprivation, not in a traumatic way, but in a restorative way. You're creating space for your nervous system to recalibrate. In the first few hours, you'll likely experience withdrawal. Anxiety, restlessness, the urge to check your phone will be almost unbearable. This is normal. This is your nervous system detoxing from the constant stimulation it's addicted to. Sit with it. Breathe through it. Don't give in. After about 6 to 12 hours, the anxiety will start to soften. Your nervous system will begin to downregulate, and you'll drop into a deeper layer of yourself. Phase 2. Somatic stillness, the body scan. Once the external noise is gone, you'll notice the internal noise. Physical tension, discomfort, restlessness. Your body stores unprocessed emotions and stress as tension, and that tension is a form of noise. It broadcasts static into your field. So the next step is somatic stillness, releasing the tension held in the body. The practice: lie down or sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your body. Starting at the crown of your head, slowly scan down through your entire body, noticing where you're holding tension, your jaw, your shoulders, your belly, your hips. When you find tension, don't try to force it to release. Just bring your breath and awareness to it. Imagine breathing into the tension, softening around it. As you release physical tension, you'll often find emotions arising. Sadness, anger, grief. Let them surface, let them move through. Don't suppress, don't analyze, just allow. This can take 20 minutes to an hour. By the end, your body should feel softer, more spacious, more at ease. Phase 3, mental stillness, witnessing the mind. Now comes the hardest part, quieting the mental chatter. You can't force the mind to be quiet. That's like trying to calm turbulent water by hitting it with a stick. The effort creates more turbulence. Instead, you witness, you observe the thoughts without engaging them. The practice, sit in a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Focus on your breath, just natural, easy breathing. Thoughts will arise. That's guaranteed. Your mind will produce thoughts about the past, the future, your to-do list, your anxieties, your plans. When a thought arises, notice it. Label it silently, thinking, and then gently return your attention to the breath. Don't fight the thoughts. Don't judge yourself for having them. Just notice, label, return, over and over, thousands of times if necessary. At first, you'll be lost in thought 90% of the time. You'll have a thought, get swept away in a story, and 5 minutes later realize you forgot you were meditating. That's fine. Just notice, return. Over time, sometimes within the same session, the thoughts will slow. The gaps between thoughts will widen, and in those gaps, you'll taste true silence. Not the absence of sound, the absence of mental noise, pure, open, aware presence. This is the state you're aiming for. Phase 4, the neurobiology of silence. What's happening in your brain during this process? When you first enter silence, your brain is in beta waves, 13 to 30 hertz, the frequency of active, analytical thinking. This is your default waking state. As you relax and begin to meditate, you drop into alpha waves, 8 to 12 hertz, the frequency of calm, reflective awareness. This is the state of light meditation and creative flow. With deeper practice, you drop into theta waves, 4 to 8 hertz, the frequency of deep meditation, the hypnagogic state between waking and sleeping, and access to the subconscious mind. This is where profound insights and downloads occur. And if you go deep enough, you may touch delta waves, 0.5 to 4 hertz, the frequency of deep, dreamless sleep and transcendental states. In delta, the sense of separate self dissolves. You merge with the field. But there's another frequency that advanced meditators achieve, gamma waves, 30 to 100 hertz and above. Gamma is associated with peak states of consciousness, heightened perception, unity experiences, and what neuroscientists call binding, the integration of information across the entire brain. Studies of monks in deep meditation show sustained gamma activity. They're not just calm, they're in a state of heightened coherence where the brain is firing in synchronized patterns across multiple regions. This is the neurological signature of alignment, of resonance, of being tuned to the frequency of the quantum field itself. And this is the state from which manifestation happens effortlessly. When your brain is in gamma coherence, you're not trying to force reality. You're vibrating at the frequency of reality already reorganized. You're being the wish fulfilled at a neurological level. And the universe, which mirrors frequency, has no choice but to reflect that back to you. Phase 5. The frequency of the wish fulfilled. The final step in the technology of silence is to, from this state of deep stillness, gently assume the feeling of already having what you desire. Not visualizing it as a future event, not affirming it as something you're trying to attract, feeling it as a present reality. The practice. From deep silence, after your body is relaxed, your mind is quiet, your nervous system is calm, bring to mind your desire, but don't think about it, inhabit it. If it's a new job, feel what it feels like to already be in that role. Feel the satisfaction, the security, the excitement. Let the feeling fill your body. If it's a relationship, feel what it feels like to already be loved the way you desire. Feel the warmth, the connection, the peace. If it's money, feel what it feels like to already have financial abundance. Feel the ease, the freedom, the relief. Stay with the feeling for as long as you can, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, until it saturates every cell. And then, this is crucial, let it go. Don't hold on. Don't try to keep the feeling. Don't check to see if it's working. Just release it into the field, like releasing a balloon into the sky. Trust that it's done, and then return to silence. This is not a one-time practice. This is a daily discipline. Every day you retreat into silence, recalibrate your nervous system, and assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not from effort, from stillness. Let's address the biggest objection to everything I've said so far. But if I do nothing, nothing will happen. I can't just sit around meditating and expect opportunities to fall in my lap. This objection comes from a misunderstanding of what doing nothing means. Doing nothing does not mean being passive, lazy, or checked out. It means not acting from lack. It means not forcing, pushing, or hustling from a place of desperation. It means waiting for inspired action rather than taking frantic action. There's a huge difference. Inspired action is action that arises from alignment. It feels easy, joyful, exciting. There's no resistance. It's less like pushing a boulder uphill and more like surfing a wave. You're being moved. The action flows through you. This is action from the 0-point field. This is the universe moving through you, orchestrating synchronicities, opening doors, arranging coincidences. Frantic action is action that arises from fear. It feels forced, effortful, exhausting. There's constant resistance. It's like pushing a boulder uphill. You're doing the moving. The action is draining you. This is action from the ego. This is you trying to make something happen through willpower alone because you don't trust the field. The silence protocol is designed to quiet the frantic action so that inspired action can emerge. When you stop doing from fear and lack, you create space. And in that space, intuition arises. A nudge, a quiet knowing. Call this person. Go to that place. Write that email. And when you follow these nudges, magic happens. Because they're not random. They're coordinated movements in the quantum field, guiding you toward your desired outcome through the path of least resistance. The high-frequency alignment of stillness. Here's the part people miss. Stillness is not low energy. It's the highest energy. Think about a spinning top. When it's spinning at its fastest, it looks almost perfectly still. There's no wobble, no vibration, no visible movement, just pure, humming presence. That's you in deep silence. You're not inactive. You're spinning at such a high frequency that you appear still. From the outside, it might look like you're doing nothing. But energetically, you're operating at peak coherence. You're a tuning fork vibrating at the exact frequency of your desired outcome. And that frequency is magnetic. It draws to you the people, circumstances, and opportunities that match. You don't have to chase. You don't have to force. You just have to maintain the frequency, and the universe delivers. This is why the most successful people, the true masters, often seem to do very little. They're not hustling 24/7. They're not burned out. They're calm, centered, moving with ease. Because they've learned the secret. Alignment is more powerful than action, and alignment is cultivated in silence. So you've done the work. You've entered silence. You've released the noise. You've assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You've let it go. Now what? Now you return to the world, but you don't return the same. You return calibrated to a new frequency. And this is where the magic becomes visible. The transition from stillness to movement. The key is to maintain the frequency you cultivated in silence as you re-enter activity. This doesn't mean you stay in meditation all day. It means you move through the world from a place of inner stillness, even as you engage in action. Think of it like this. Before, you were a leaf being blown around by the wind, reactive, scattered, at the mercy of external circumstances. Now, you're a mountain. The wind still blows, but you're unmoved, grounded, centered. From this place, you act, but differently. Your actions are no longer frantic attempts to force outcomes. They're expressions of the frequency you're holding. You send the email, but not from desperation, from inspired curiosity. You go to the event, but not to network anxiously, to enjoy connection. You apply for the job, but not from fear of rejection, from alignment with the vision. The actions look the same on the outside, but the frequency is completely different, and the results reflect that. Signs the quantum field has reorganized. How do you know if the silence is working? How do you know the field has shifted? You'll notice 1. Synchronicities multiply. Random encounters with people who have exactly what you need. Books falling off shelves with the perfect message. Conversations that lead to unexpected opportunities. These aren't coincidences. They're the field organizing around your frequency. 2. Opportunities appear effortlessly. The job offer comes without you applying. The client reaches out to you. The solution presents itself without you searching. You're no longer chasing. Things are coming to you. 3. Resistance dissolves. Things that used to be hard become easy. Doors that were closed swing open. People who were obstacles become allies. The universe is no longer pushing back. It's pulling you forward. 4. Intuition sharpens. You get clear, undeniable inner guidance. You know what to do, even if it doesn't make logical sense, and when you follow it, it works. This is the field speaking through you. 5. Emotional baseline shifts. You're no longer anxious about the outcome. You're not checking, forcing, worrying. You feel calm, certain, at peace. This is the energetic signature of already having it. Recognizing intuitive pings versus forced logic. One of the hardest skills to develop is distinguishing between intuition, the voice of the field, and ego, the voice of fear. Here's how to tell the difference. Intuition, quiet, subtle, almost whisper-like, arises from stillness. Feels light, expansive, certain, often illogical or unexpected. Doesn't need justification. Accompanied by a feeling of, yes, this is right in your body. Ego, loud, insistent, repetitive, arises from mental chatter. Feels heavy, contractive, anxious. Always logical and reasonable. Needs evidence and justification accompanied by tension or fear in your body. When you receive an intuitive ping, you'll feel it in your body first. A knowing, a resonance, a quiet certainty. The ego will immediately follow with objections. But that doesn't make sense. What if it doesn't work? You should do this other thing instead. The practice is to trust the intuitive ping and ignore the ego's objections. This requires courage, because intuition often asks you to do things that seem irrational, to reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in years, to take a spontaneous trip, to say no to something that looks good on paper but feels wrong. But when you follow intuition, even when it doesn't make sense, you'll find that the path unfolds perfectly. Because intuition is the field guiding you, and the field sees the whole chessboard. Your ego only sees one move ahead. Here's the final piece. Silence is not a one-time practice. It's a lifestyle. You can't enter silence once, manifest something, and then go back to frantic hustling. That will collapse the wave function back into the old pattern. To maintain continuous, rapid manifestation, you need to establish a baseline of silence. The daily silence practice. Minimum 20 minutes of silence every morning before you engage with the world. Ideal. 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening, and micro moments of stillness throughout the day. The morning practice sets your frequency for the day. You're tuning your instrument before you play. The evening practice clears the accumulated noise of the day and recalibrates you back to alignment. The micro moments, pausing before you speak, taking 3 deep breaths before a meeting, closing your eyes for 30 seconds in the bathroom, keep you anchored in the frequency throughout the day. Silence as sacred boundary. You'll need to protect your silence from the world's demands. People will resist your new practice. They'll call you lazy, selfish, irresponsible. Why aren't you answering your phone? Why aren't you hustling like everyone else? Why are you just sitting there doing nothing? You don't owe anyone an explanation, but if you want to offer one, I'm recalibrating my nervous system to operate at a higher frequency. Most people won't understand. That's okay. This work is not for everyone. It's for the people willing to trust the paradox that the fastest way to get what you want is to stop chasing it. Integration with inspired action. Again, silence doesn't mean you never act. It means you only act when inspired. From your baseline of silence, you'll receive nudges. Follow them. You'll feel called to reach out to someone. Do it. You'll feel called to create something. Create it. You'll feel called to rest more. Rest. But you'll also notice the actions you're inspired to take are far more effective than the dozens of frantic actions you used to take. One aligned conversation opens more doors than 50 anxious networking events. One inspired creation attracts more attention than 100 forced posts. One moment of deep rest restores more energy than a month of pushing through exhaustion. Quality of frequency greater than quantity of effort. The compound effect of silence. Here's what will happen if you commit to this. In the first week, you'll feel uncomfortable, restless, doubtful. Your ego will scream that you're wasting time. In the second week, you'll start to notice small shifts, a little more calm, a few synchronicities, a subtle sense that something is different. In the first month, undeniable changes will appear. Opportunities, connections, results that seem to come out of nowhere. In 3 months, your entire reality will have reorganized. The things you were striving for will have arrived. The things you were worried about will have resolved. The life you were forcing will have become effortless. And people will ask you, "What did you do?" And you'll smile and say, "Nothing." Because they won't understand. They're still stuck in the paradigm of effort and hustle. But you'll know the truth. You did everything. You just did it in silence. What we're describing here is not new. It's ancient. The Taoists called it Wu Wei, effortless action, non-forcing, going with the flow. The concept is simple but profound. The universe has a natural current. When you align with it, everything flows. When you resist it, everything is struggle. Imagine a river. You want to get downstream. You have 2 options. Option 1, swim against the current, exhaust yourself, fight the water, make slow, painful progress. Option 2, turn around, relax, and let the current carry you. Effortless movement, arrive faster. Most people spend their entire lives swimming upstream. They think effort equals progress, but they're fighting the very force that could carry them. The master knows the river is going where you want to go anyway. Stop swimming, let it carry you. This is Wu Wei. This is the silence paradox. This is why doing nothing is the fastest way to manifest results. The intelligence of the field. The Tao, the quantum field, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, has an intelligence far beyond your individual comprehension. It sees patterns you can't see. It knows connections you don't know. It orchestrates synchronicities across space and time that your linear mind could never plan. When you hustle and force, you're saying, "I don't trust the field. I have to do it myself." When you enter silence and surrender, you're saying, "I trust the field. I'll let it orchestrate." And the field, given permission, will move mountains for you, but only if you get out of the way. The paradox of control. Here's the ultimate paradox. The more you try to control, the less control you have. The more you surrender, the more power you wield. Control is the ego's illusion. It thinks if it just manages every variable, predicts every outcome, forces every action, it can ensure success. But the ego is operating with incomplete information. It can't see the whole picture. It's like a chess player trying to win without being able to see half the board. So the ego's attempts to control actually create chaos. They introduce resistance. They block flow. But surrender is not passivity. Surrender is trusting a higher intelligence to orchestrate on your behalf. And that higher intelligence, the quantum field, has access to all information, all possibilities, all timelines. When you surrender to it, you gain access to that intelligence. You stop being a limited individual trying to force outcomes, and you become a conduit for infinite intelligence to work through. This is true power, not control. Alignment. I need to be honest with you about something. The silence practice is not always blissful. In fact, when you first enter deep silence, you may encounter what mystics call the dark night of the soul. All the noise you've been avoiding, the unprocessed grief, the suppressed rage, the existential terror will surface. Because silence is a mirror. And when you finally stop running, stop distracting, stop doing, you have to face what's there. For some people, this is terrifying. They enter silence and immediately want to run. This is too intense. I need to check my phone. I need to do something. But this is the healing crisis, the emergence of what's been buried. And if you can stay with it, if you can sit in the discomfort, breathe through the fear, allow the emotions to move, you'll emerge on the other side transformed. The purification process. Think of silence as a purification process. You're not just quieting the mind, you're clearing the accumulated debris of a lifetime. Every unfelt emotion, every unprocessed trauma, every limiting belief. They're all stored in your nervous system, creating static, lowering your frequency. When you enter silence, you give them permission to surface and release. This is why people often cry during meditation, or feel waves of anger, or experience seemingly random memories. It's not a problem. It's the purification process. And on the other side of it, you'll find a clarity, a peace, a power you've never known. Trust the process. If you commit to silence and it gets uncomfortable, trust the process. The discomfort is not a sign you're doing it wrong. It's a sign you're doing it right. You're finally creating space for the buried material to surface. And as it surfaces, it releases. And as it releases, your frequency rises. Stay with it, breathe through it, seek support if needed, a therapist, a coach, a trusted friend. But don't give up, because on the other side of the dark night is the dawn. And the dawn is a version of you more powerful, more aligned, more magnetic than you've ever been. What we're talking about here is not just a manifestation technique, it's a paradigm shift from the old paradigm of hustle, force, and effort to the new paradigm of flow, alignment, and ease. And this shift is not just personal, it's collective. We're living through a moment in history where the old systems are collapsing. The burnout culture is burning out. The grind is grinding to a halt. People are waking up to the fact that the hustle is not sustainable, not fulfilling, and not even effective. And in the ashes of the old paradigm, a new one is emerging. The paradigm of conscious creation through alignment. This paradigm says, your state of being is more important than your actions. Your frequency determines your reality. The universe is not indifferent, it's responsive. You are not a victim of circumstance, you're a creator of reality. The fastest path to your desires is through inner alignment, not external effort. This is the future, and you're on the leading edge of it. The ripple effect. When you step into this new paradigm, when you stop hustling and start flowing, you don't just change your own life, you change the field. Because frequency is contagious. When you vibrate at a high level of coherence, calm, and trust, the people around you feel it. They start to question their own frantic patterns. They start to wonder if there's another way. And some of them will ask you, what's different about you? You seem so calm, so at ease. How are you manifesting these results without grinding like the rest of us? And you'll have a choice. Share the secret or keep it to yourself. I encourage you to share it. Because the more people who step into this paradigm, the faster the collective field shifts. We don't need more burnout. We need more silence. We don't need more hustle. We need more alignment. And it starts with you. So here we are, at the end of this exploration into the silence paradox. You came into this thinking that manifestation required action, effort, strategy. But now you know the truth. The fastest way to manifest is to stop trying to manifest, to enter silence, to release the noise, to quiet the frantic doing, to trust the field, and from that silence, to allow the quantum wave function to collapse around your desired reality, not because you forced it, but because you became it. This is not passive. This is not lazy. This is the highest form of creation. Because when you create from silence, you're not creating from the limited ego. You're creating from the infinite field. You're not pushing against reality. You're letting reality reorganize around you. And the results? They're not just faster, they're better. Because they come through the path of least resistance, through synchronicity and flow, through the intelligence of the universe orchestrating on your behalf. You don't need more tactics, you don't need more strategies, you don't need to hustle harder, you need to stop, breathe, be still, and trust. Trust that in the silence, everything you've been chasing is already making its way to you. Trust that in the stillness, the quantum field is reorganizing. Trust that doing nothing is, paradoxically, doing everything. The world will tell you this is crazy, that you need to work harder, try harder, do more. But you know better now. You know that silence is the source, stillness is the womb, and doing nothing is the fastest way to manifest results. So go. Enter the silence, dissolve the resistance, calibrate to the new frequency, and watch as your reality transforms, not through force, but through flow, not through effort, but through ease, not through doing, but through being. Welcome to the new paradigm. Welcome to the power of silence. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the silence paradox and the quantum mechanics of manifestation. If this has shifted your understanding of action, effort, and creation, I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments. And if you're ready to explore more cutting-edge approaches to consciousness, reality creation, and the intersection of ancient wisdom and modern science, subscribe and join me as we continue to discover what's truly possible when we align with the field. Until next time, stop doing, start being, and watch the magic unfold.